Team. All right, we went live in three, two, one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wahda wa salatu wa salam ala man la nabiyya ba'da. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. So, ICN family, alhamdulillah, welcome to our COVID-19 educational webinar. And the whole objective and purpose of this was for those people who may not know now, a bit of an educational guideline, and for those people who do know somewhat of the disease and its intricacies. I know a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions, so hopefully by the end of this seminar we'll kind of clear up any type of misconceptions that people may have, and come out through it at the other end of this with a little bit more sustainable knowledge that's more clarified and has been verified by people who are there on the front lines. So I have with me here Dr. Shah. He is a good friend of mine, and but also someone who I trust very much and who's on the front lines, and I'll hand it over to him to kind of introduce himself to the viewers, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for having me, Mufti Ibrahim. I'm Zaire, Dr. Shah, you can call me. I'm a PMNR resident in my last year. I'm about to actually graduate in a few months over at Casa Colina in Pomona. We are an acute rehab facility, and we're in the midst of all of this. I'm actually on the task force in my hospital. So we're basically meeting every day. We're reviewing all the data, all the guidelines that the CDC and the Department of Public Health puts out, and we're making recommendations on how to prevent COVID-19 from getting into our hospital and protecting our patients, protecting our employees, because all of us, when we're done from work, we have to go home to our families. So we have to prevent transmission as well. So thank you for having me. I'm honored to do this.
Alhamdulillah. We were very honored that you took out time. I'm sure you're very busy. I know yesterday you had a very busy day, but thank you anyways for coming on. I'll start off with some very basic questions that people may have, or maybe misconceptions, like what is the coronavirus? Is it something that is new? Is it a new virus, or is it something that's always existed? I mean, how does that work?
So the coronavirus, it's a family of viruses. There's many families of viruses, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you get a cold, right? When you get runny nose, sore throat, just a small cough, and you go to your doctor and they don't give you any antibiotics because you don't have a high fever. It's a viral infection, and it could be a lot of different things. It can also be a virus from corona family, but the strain that we're seeing now, which is called the COVID-19. COVID-19 stands for Coronavirus Disease 19. That's from 2019, started last year, right? This is a strain that we've never encountered before. And it's the reason why it's been such a problem. It started in China and now it's here.
So it's more of like a conglomerate of different, like a family of viruses. So it's not just like one type of coronavirus, like singular type of thing.
Well, when you say coronavirus, it's a family of viruses. COVID-19 is a specific strain.
I see.
Yeah.
So this coronavirus that we're in right now, that we're witnessing, this is a relatively new one, right?
Yes, it's new. We've done some research. I mean, we haven't, but there's been research done from China, and they're trying to figure out what's the origin of the virus. And it's an RNA virus, and the genetic code actually resembles very closely to the virus in the bat family, right? So people are hypothesizing that it came from bats, and from the Wuhan area, it's known that a lot of people eat bats, right? So that's where it looks like that it has been originated.
I see. Because a lot of times we hear, I mean, there are some conspiracy theories out there where people are saying that it was somehow made in a lab. Is this something normal that the viruses like kind of mutate and they change around or they add
So
on?
it's actually very normal that these viruses change and mutate. That's how they survive. Every time a virus duplicates its genetic material, DNA or RNA, it changes. And when it changes, it can be more infective. It can change its properties on like how it infects someone. So this is not, this has been coming on, this is like coming on for years and years of mutation. And then some mutation happened, and then somehow it occurred in a bat, and then the transmission occurred from a bat to a human, and then from a human to another human. So this is like scientifically speaking, that's most likely the origin.
I see. So it's like a photocopy machine. It just kind of just takes up all these different DNAs and
Yeah,
downloads them. And
exactly.
so what are zoonotic diseases? Those are like ones that transmit between animals and humans, right? Is this a zoonotic disease virus?
Yeah, you can say that the coronavirus is a zoonotic disease if it was being transferred from bat to bat, or from cow to bats, or different animals. But now that it's in humans, it's in like a different class. So
Makes
yeah.
sense. So I mean, let's talk more about the in terms of its transmission. Like, how does it spread? Is it something that, I mean, I've heard a lot of different things that some say it's aerosolized. It could be in the air, or is it only through touching? Is it only through contact, human contact, or contact through different
hmm
surfaces? How does it work? How does it travel?
So in the hospital, we use a term called droplet precautions.
Mm.
And we use the word droplet precautions because we have to um, cover ourselves in a way where a droplet, which can be saliva, um, which could be like when you sneeze, that material, when you cough, that material, basically you inhale yourself, or it can enter through your eye as well. A lot of people think that, oh, I can put on a mask and I'll protect myself. But if you're in a room with a patient and you don't have any eye protection, you can also, it's just like mucus to mucus contact, right? So you can get transmission from a droplet and from your eye as well. Um, so that's how it's transferred, right?
Like
There's a lot of
respiratory
studies
droplets.
out. Say that again?
They call it like respiratory droplets or something. Is that what they're
No,
called?
just droplet transmission.
Okay.
So say, for example, if someone has it and they coughed, it takes about 4 to 5 seconds for that material to go down to the ground by gravity, right? So if somebody coughs that has the virus and you walk through it, if you inhale it, you can get it. Or if somebody coughs on a table or doesn't cover their cough, you touch it, and then you touch your face, you touch your mouth, you're holding a pen and you put the pen in your mouth. That's big, it's a huge way for you to get the infection as well. Like you're scratching your eye, you're picking your nose. There's also been studies that have shown that it can live in air for about like 3 hours,
Oh,
but
wow.
that's not, yeah. So that, I think it was a small study and it hasn't really been blown out of proportion, in the sense that the CDC hasn't made any recommendations that you should be wearing masks everywhere you go, right?
Hmm. I see. But
So
what about these masks? Though? I mean, I heard someone was telling me that even when you do wear a mask, or like just say someone like me with a beard, if we wear a mask, I mean, when we breathe in, like 80% of the air that you're breathing is going to come in through the sides of the mask, not necessarily through and the masks were mainly to protect other people from you, but not from not you're protecting yourself from other people. Is that true or?
yeah, so when you, like, say for example, if you have a cough and you wear the mask, the chances of you transmitting the disease to other people is actually much lower, right? In the sense that if somebody else has the mask on and they're just wearing it for protection, yeah, if it's not sealed tight from your nose and here, then the air is also going in.
Hmm.
So it's the protection is not going to be like to a higher extent. So um, I'm just gonna address it right now. A lot of people before this pandemic became huge, a lot of people started buying all these masks, and a lot of people started ordering it from Amazon. It was sold out. They started wearing it. Are you getting protection from these masks? To a certain extent, but you're getting way more protection if you wash your hands at least 20 to 30 seconds, right? You're washing your hands from 20 to 30 seconds, because if you have the virus on your hands, you wash it, it'll kill the virus.
Oh, really?
Or hand sanitizer as well. Yeah. And then you wash your hands. That's more effective than wearing a mask, in my opinion. And then if everybody goes out and buys all these masks, and the hospital care workers, there's a huge shortage, you know?
Yeah.
UCLA ran out of masks in like 2 weeks, and then they had to get a donation. Yeah, UCLA ran out of masks in 2 weeks. Kaiser also started running out of masks, and now they are basically telling like the nurses that you have to either be over 65 or you have to be pregnant to qualify to wear a mask. That's what I've heard. And then my hospital, since the beginning of this whole pandemic, we were very strict with our mask usage, because right now, like New York is getting hammered. New York is getting hammered. New Orleans is getting hammered. Los Angeles, we have the virus and the infection rate is high, but it's the potential for it to get really bad. It hasn't happened yet, right? The ERs, the ERs in my the ERs in the hospitals in my area are not full yet, right? We're predicting maybe in like a week or two, when people are staying home, when the virus, because if the life of the virus happens, then people are going to start getting sick, right? So in a week or two, we're predicting that it can get really bad. And then we need the masks for that time. Because if you're treating a patient and you don't have a mask on, you don't have proper eye gear on, you're very vulnerable to getting this infection. You can, like, if you read about Italy, 1 in 10 infected individual in Italy was a healthcare worker. And that includes a nurse, a doctor, a therapist. And in Italy, it got so bad, people, some doctors were just saying, no, I can't go, because so many doctors were getting sick, you know? So just going back to a little bit, talking about masks, right? You're much safer washing your hands. When you touch your things, don't touch your face. You stay 6 feet away from people. I know I'm getting a little bit ahead.
So that's what it is. We need to know how to kind of protect ourselves, because that's the number one problem that we're having. I mean, because like you mentioned, we're not even in the danger zone yet. We haven't even reached the danger zone.
We're not in the danger zone. Yeah,
so we're still getting there. And because recently we closed our masajid, both Tampa and Granada Masjid, and a lot of people are upset, Juma. And I mean, that's what we really need to. I mean, a lot of people don't understand how bad it can really get, and especially in the UK. I have friends who are doing imamat there, and there are musallis that there was one guy in Bolton. He was infected, and he was told not to go. He didn't go to the masjid. He started recovering, but before, like, they told him to, like, a certain amount of days, don't go until this many amount of days have passed by, and you're okay. He still went. He went there, and there was an elderly gentleman who prayed next to him. He got sick, and he passed away.
Oh my God!
So that's where, like, I don't think a lot of our community understands how serious it gets.
Well, this is very serious. And if you are an age of 65 and up, you are at high risk.
And doesn't have to discriminate against old people.
No.